What's up? Got a cold steel here. This is a cold steel silver eye. 3.5 inch blade, S35VN, weighs 4 ounces. It's got almost a 5 inch handle on it. Man, let's check this thing in. I like me some cold steel. I have a lot of cold steel knives. I've only featured, I believe, one other on the channel. Because one of the things I haven't done on the channel is gone back through my existing collections, except for the twosuns. I'm doing 2 rows of twosuns, but I haven't gone back and grabbed a lot of my other existing inventory. So, I may do that. Okay. Yeah, I may go back and grab, because, man, I got some pretty cool stuff that, like, I mean, some of this cold steel stuff, whew. I mean, at one point, I think 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I was considering becoming a cold steel distributor. And at that time, I think the requirement was to become a dealer or whatever. If I remember right, I had to buy like $2,000 worth of inventory. Because I checked into it, and I almost did it. Ooh, look at this thing. Man, this thing is coolio. It's got that back triad lock. I'm going to control it because I don't want to drop it on my fingers. Pretty good action. Really good action. And I love that rollout like that. Like a 80-10. That rollout. It's so good, man. It's the same on my Demco. I don't know. It'll come to me. But yeah, I really like this action. It's pretty smooth out of the box, man. And of course, it's on washers. Carbon fiber, reversible pocket clip, and based on the back lock, I mean, if you remove this pocket clip and put it on the other side, I mean, the knife is ergonomically the same from side to side. So, absolutely a lefty or a righty. But I do like that action. I bet you I can flick it too. Ooh, just shy. Come on, man. Do it like you mean it. Oh, one more time. Come on. There it is. A little bit of wrist. Yeah. Hey, let's get in it, man. We'll check it in, and then we'll finish checking it out. I'm still a little hobbled up. So there's not a whole lot of, we're not going to move too fast. Feels like it's got a little Loctite on it. Yeah, it does. It's got a little blue stuff there. It's got that one in a T8, and then it looks like all these are going to be T6s. Wonder if they all got to come. You know what? We'll just do them all. This is the easy part right here. Doing these screws. It's getting these pins to align with the world and decide to come apart, right? There. This one came apart pretty easy. It's got a little oily stuff in there. It's on bronze washers. Okay. That was a complete disaster. But that's alright. Give me a good reason to wipe everything down real good. Which I was going to do anyways. It looks like the bronze washers are right up against this carbon fiber. and there's no marking. So I think that that washer is being gripped by the carbon fiber. Yeah, and then there's a, oh man, my brain's not working perfectly, but the little plastic washer between it and the knife. Yeah. Okay. There's a name for that, but I don't. My brain's just not working good enough, man. How about there's a washer, a plastic washer. Look at this beautiful S35VN steel blade. Wow. Just gorgeous. Yep. I mean, I am a fan of cold steel. I mean, who else punishes their stuff like they do? I mean, the answer is nobody. I'm not aware of any other knife that will intentionally take their stuff and just literally beat the crap out of it and then take it to the absolute extreme limits to a fail point on purpose. You know, I mean, you got to be impressed. I am. I'm impressed by how they do that. No fear, man. It's just like, hey, we built it to be tough, and so we trust it to be that. And the interesting question, I think I said this the last time I did a cold steel knife, is how many failures do they have, and does it matter? Because at the end of the day, if they have failures, but they use that failure to improve the product, then who cares, right? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm going to wipe these washers down. And we'll put a little bit of oil back on them. Nylon. Is that the word? Nylon? See, the silence is me going, what in the world are these? Why can I not think of that? And of course I need to be careful because I don't want to tear it. Just for the life of me, I can't think of it. Brain dead. One of y'all comment. So at least those that aren't sure what it is, if you'll comment, then they'll know. And we can credit you for it because I'm brain dead. I can't think of it. Got a captured pivot pin. It's captured down here in this carbon fiber. There it is. And then it was a bronze washer. And then this plastic washer. How about that? I'm going to call it plastic. Okay. Sorry about that. Had a little glitch, but I caught it quick. So we didn't miss anything. I did put the blade on. And so we're going to put this washer down. This was next to the blade. And we're going to put a little bit of lube there. And then our bronze washer. And then our scale. I think we're good to go. It's kind of weird working with one hand, but my daughter was talking to me the other day about this, and she said, well, she had learned about people that have no arms or hands or legs, or no arms or hands, and they use their feet. And I was like, well, I guess if you didn't have hands or arms, it wouldn't take long to figure out, or with enough practice, I guess you'd figure out how to pick stuff up with your toes and your feet. She said, yeah, they grip just like fingers. Human beings are resilient, man. Pretty awesomely designed. Oh, come on. Yeah. This is without a doubt the last thing that I'm going to do today. I need to find the couch and remote control, and you know what I mean? Because I am not operating at maximum potential. That's a fact. Smooth. Yeah. Let me go this route. And the lockup on this knife is so solid, man. This thing, yeah, it's got a good drop. I mean, listen, there's probably a whole bunch watching this video right now that are not a fan of knives with washers, but they definitely have their place, and if they're done correctly, I mean, with a little bit of use and proper, tuning, man, they can run really well. Let's talk about that action real quick. So it's basically dropping, and I most definitely can thumb flick that out there. And with a little bit of time, I'm pretty sure those washers will continue to just get broke in, and that whole system will come together. So, I mean, for a washer action, I'm probably going to rate this, I mean, what am I going to rate this? Right now I'm going to say it's a B plus for sure. The ergonomics are kind of coming into play with that decision. I'll tell you why. The knife is so big for me. When I do this slow roll, I almost have to re-grip, and so I'm taking that away from the action, not the ergos, because it's an action function. I suppose with a little more practice, like right there, woo, see how close that came? Man, that'd be bleeding right now if that had came forward and got me. I'm pretty sure that thing's sharp as a razor. We'll see. I've never gotten a cold steel knife that wasn't sharpened correctly, but maybe this one's the first. Yeah, so B plus, and the more it's used, I mean, it could easily become an A. An A minus, that kind of thing. Let's talk ergonomics. So gripping this knife, they've created some jimping on the back of the scales, and it's got a nice platform for the thumb here. Wonderful ergonomics and all of this contoured milling on the scales here. I mean, it's literally all 5 of your fingers just locked in. And because it's all 5, there's not really a finger guard. I mean, there's kind of this built-in one, but I'm going to call this a confident grip. I mean, this thing is so locked in my hand. This way as well. Nice cap for, spot to cap it with the thumb. I mean, this thing's legit. I am going to strike the ergos a little bit, as the inside of these carbon fiber scales are sharp. I mean, this is, so when you grip this, these are not, look on the inside. Can I show it? Let me get a better look. So the inside is not knocked down at all. It's just milled. The outside has been chamfered and is very comfortable, but that inside has not been knocked down at all. So even each of these ridges on the inside, it's super sharp. So not comfortable. Yeah. So because of that, I'm going to say I don't like the ergos on this knife. It is not comfortable in hand because, I mean, I suppose if you had a super muscular hand and when you grip this, you didn't have any fatty skin, but my fat hands, man, they go right in between these scales and I feel every one of these ridges and the sharpness. Yeah, it's not comfortable. I don't feel the pocket clip, but I feel all this down here, super sharp. Can all that be sanded? I'm going to assume so. That, I mean, if they could do this side, the other side could be sanded as well. So maybe a little sanding will make that perfect. But as is out of the box, not very comfy. Ooh, this action. Listen to that lockup. That's that triad, man. I mean, so good. What if I could Spidey flip this knife? Let's try. Yeah. Got to get after it, but pocket clip. Let's check it. Pocket clip. Pocket clip time. I mean, I could get production value and do like some other people, and right there, pocket clip time. Yeah, it's that time, you know. Yeah. I need to stop doing reviews today, right? I mean, all right, so typical cold steel pocket clip, lots of exposed knife. So if you're looking for a deep carry, I mean, there may be some cold steel models that run a deep carry, but I'm not, offhand, I'm not aware of them. This is typical stuff right here. But the tension is super good. This is a dryer knife. That thing, if you go take off on a run, this thing bouncing around in your pocket, it's going to be there when you go looking for it. My spot, even on the back pocket here, I mean, it's going to be there if I go looking for it. So if I'm running at a full sprint and then I go, man, I better get my knife out of my pocket, I'm going to reach back. It's going to be right there. Yeah. Safety. Yeah, obviously nothing in the back. Let's check that tip. Yeah, there's no getting that tip. So the clip's good, the tip's good, and then obviously there's no contact here. So safety-wise, pretty confident in this knife in the pocket and not having incidental blade contact. I got some magazine paper here. It's a little thicker paper, but I think it's going to tell us what we need to know. I mean, what do you think? Woo. Yeah, razor sharp, man. This thing's wicked. Came out of the factory, good to go. Came out of the box, ready to get busy. Yeah. Price and availability. Let's hit it up. There's a couple of places that there was recently a 25% off on cold steel, so you can find some deals on them. But let me see where I can find this. Okay, so Amazon's going to be the place to go for this Silver Eye. They're at $92. Of course, free shipping, free returns, all that kind of good stuff. The other retailers that I know that are pretty down with cold steel have this knife in the 160 to 175 range. So when you look at it that way, like $92, I mean, doesn't seem very high. I mean, S35, carbon fiber, that kind of thing, and it's a large knife. But when you think that the retailers are running it, you know, the distributors are running this at, you know, 160, 175, 180, right in that range, $92 is pretty solid price for this piece. Yeah. So cold steel Silver Eye. I did find a golden eye at KnifeWorks. KnifeWorks.com has a golden eye, so it's same knife, but it's got a gold thumb stud and, you know, a gold pocket clip. It's got some gold highlights. There used to be a G10 version of this knife, and I looked for it because the thing I don't like about this knife, and I don't like it, is these carbon fiber scales. I actually did a search to see if I could find anybody that was making scales for it. But I also looked really hard for the version of this that has the G10 scales, because if I could find that, I would be really happy with this knife in a G10 scale. Or if somebody could make me some scales, you know, some titanium scales, G10 scales, you know, I don't know. But this slick, I'm just not a fan. But man, the ergonomics, the size, overall on this knife, I like it a lot. But the scales are not my favorite. All right, hey, I appreciate you watching the Cold Steel Silver Eye, S35VN, and carbon fiber. Appreciate y'all watching.